folks. Old Man Grognard here. Oh, it's been an interesting week. I reviewed a book called Lands of Lunacy earlier this week, and it kind of went through the roof. So I'm kind of happy for Lloyd, Metcalf, and Fail Squad Games. Congratulations, guys. I also put out I got this baby today and put out the review, so look for my Old Man Grognard review on that one. It's a cool game. I've got one email here that I just wanted to get out, and then I wanted to talk a little. This is from Luis Alfaro from 2014. I'm just getting around to it, yes. And this will empty my inbox. It says, "Hi, Glenn." Hi, Louis. Just posting you an email to say thank you. You're welcome. Love your new show on YouTube. Lots of good advice and ideas for DMs. I have checked several items and you are amazing. And are amazing, and are amazing. Especially looks like the Android Archivist Elements app and lots of others. Good advice from your podcasts like Save or Die and Brainstorm, the late Brainstorm. Just finished your YouTube post 20 on Judges Guild. Hope to play some modules when I get players to those levels. Caverns of Thracia, if we TPK somehow. Someday I will own a print copy of that, but I digress. Currently on Frog God Games' Lost City of Baracus, Swords and Wizardry every week. That sounds like a good game. I haven't seen Baracus. Maybe I'll pick it up at North Texas this next year. I don't know. Depends on how the money looks. I would like to know your advice on how to run OSR 5e campaigns. So what is your impression on 5e modules or conversions, and if you did play any? I am currently on the starter box Philandrin and love it. Is that right? Philandrin? Yeah, I don't think he spelled that right. That's okay. My players come from Swords and Wizardry, Pathfinder, and 3X and love the new system. Sorry about the Pathfinder and 3X, but we play as close to OSR as possible. My idea is to let me go back on that. My idea is to migrate my big Baracus S&W campaign to 5e in January using the quick and dirty sheet here, and he gives me a link to it. It's a 5e to 1e combat tracker. I'll try and put the link in when I post this. Should be good enough to have fun, and probably Frog God or Necromancer will have the Tome of Horrors converted soon as, and that will be perfect. Best regards from Barcelona, Louis. Thank you, Louis. Sometimes we don't realize how far some of these things like podcasts and videos go. And sometimes it's hard to wrap your head around the fact that the internet is truly universal. Except in some countries where they ban it. Those bad guys, you. But thank you, Louis. It's nice to know somebody in Spain is using the stuff. My opinion on 5e. Okay, here we go. I respect it. It's got some interesting ideas. I played in it. I'm playing in it right now. I won't run it. I'm too much old school for that. And while it's got some good stuff I'd like to steal, I really don't have any use for it. And a lot of it, half of it comes down to money. If you look behind me, you can barely see it in this video, but behind me is my RPG collection. And as far as D&D goes, it starts with Holmes and goes up to 2E, because I really don't have any use for anything past 2nd edition. I played my share of 3rd edition. I found out I didn't really care for it because it's too much paperwork. Same with Pathfinder. I mean, Pathfinder didn't really solve the problem. Now, Castles and Crusades, again, I'm going to say Castles and Crusades did because they streamlined the whole thing. So if I have to run 3rd edition, I'm going to run Castles and Crusades. 4th edition, don't even get me started. Please. It's not really worth it. Not for me. And 5th edition, a lot of it comes down to I just don't want to buy the books. And I just don't want, I mean, I cannot, first of all, yeah, I buy new systems and retro clones and things like that, but it's retro clones with things I already know, and I already have. I just don't think I get enough use out of the games I have to warrant getting a new edition of Dungeons and Dragons. And I am going to be 60 next year, and I'm beyond the age of I have to have the bright and shiny, because those editions up there and other games will work for me. Now, I can understand where you're coming from. Personally, on a personal note, I don't see why you would switch from Swords and Wizardry. But, you know, that's me. Because I love Swords and Wizardry. I think it's a great retro clone. It's got some interesting ideas that I like. I may be running some soon, if I can get over Dark Dungeons. Because I was more impressed in the print version than I thought I would be, because I didn't run. I've had the PDF for years, since it came out, you know. But I was kind of blown away when I started comparing it to the Rule Cyclopedia, which I love dearly. I mean, I love dearly the Rule Cyclopedia. It's like people who play Osric who say, I love 1st edition dearly, but they can't really, the books are not really organized for finding something in the rules, unless you want to take some time doing it, because of the way Gygax organized it and he wrote. And Osric is just clear. They make everything clear. Same with Dark Dungeons. Menser and Alston did a bang-up job. I don't have as much trouble as I do in the 1E books to find stuff, but still, I can go there, and with the charts and his clear, concise writing, it makes it a breeze. It really does. And it's just a good fit. I really don't have any use for 5th edition because I've got so much already. I've got an embarrassment of riches behind me back here, and I keep getting more stuff. I got the Lands of Lunacy from Lloyd to review it. It's a great thing. I just got this. You know, I ordered this. I've got the Teriatric Tome coming. So it all goes back to the old school. I just don't want to go into 5e, that's all. You know, it's going to be one of those kicking and screaming things. I'm not going to be an old Grognard. I've even bent enough to, yeah, I'm bent. But I've actually bended enough to say ascending AC is okay. But as far as 5e, I just won't go there, and I'm sure there's a lot of good stuff. I mean, what you're playing through now, the starter set, or what you were 2 years ago, Mines of Philander, I played through it. It was a great adventure. I loved it. My DM Matt ran it when he first got the starter set. And he's moved on to 5e. For Fail Squad Games, he's writing all their 5e conversions of stuff. I mean, I got the 1E Osric version, but he's writing the 5th edition stuff for him. So, you know, I don't really want to be the odd guy out, but that's where I'm at right now. And I'm probably going to, be that way. You can teach this old dog new tricks, but it's going to be for that. It's going to be in use of that. So that's pretty much my take on it. Now, I was pondering over an old idea for an adventure the other day, and I went so far as to actually kind of write this up in outline form. I get some really good ideas from movies because I am a cinephile and a film buff. And, I love playing things like Gangbusters because I love that kind of stuff. I love watching those old movies and things like that. or even, some kind of Western game. Never played Boot Hill, but I play my share of Western games. I wouldn't mind Deadlands. I wouldn't mind trying Deadlands. Thrilling Tales for Savage World, same thing. You really Indiana Jones, Doc Savage stuff there. But I get a really good. Once in a while, I'll see a plot, and I'll go, man, that would make a good campaign. And I'm old enough, and I'm enough of a cinephile where the players won't go, oh, you stole that from XYZ. Or they may, if they were old enough than me, or they did the research. But 9 times out of 10, I could probably, bamboozle them a bit. All right, one of the things I like in cinema, one of my favorites is the films of Orson Welles. The guy was, a lot of people say it was smoke and mirrors, but what smoke and mirrors? Oh my gosh. That guy knew how to make a film. Now, he made one in the late 50s, early 60s called Mr. Arkadin. This was after he did The Third Man. And it was sort of, after he did The Third Man, his character Harry Lime died, but they made a BBC radio show out of it called The Lives of Harry Lime, where they did what happened before. He had adventures before. He was an adventurer, con man or whatever. But out of a couple of those episodes, he got the idea of Mr. Arkadin. Now, here's the plot in a nutshell. I don't know why I'm telling you this, because I may use it someday. Who knows? But I'll tell you anyway. Here's the plot in a nutshell. Gregory Arkadin, multimillionaire, owns several businesses. He's got the world on a string, pretty much. And this man, very powerful man, has a daughter by whoever, maybe one of his mistresses, maybe he may have been married 2 or 3 times. But the thing is, his daughter doesn't know anything about his past. That's the key right there. And you don't tell anything about this to the players. This one guy named Van Stratton, he kind of BS's his way into his inner circle, saying he has something on him to blackmail him with, which he really doesn't, and Arkadin knows this. But Arkadin looks at him and goes, I have an idea about you. I want you to do some research for me. I want you to make up a confidential report because I'm buying property and bases from the U.S. government. And I want you to I want a confidential report about me. Because according to Mr. Arkadin, he's had amnesia since he was 30. He said he wound up in Berlin in a suit and a briefcase full of money, and that's how he started his fortune. That's how he started his empire. He says, before that, I know nothing. And I'm afraid that, the U.S. government might turn stuff up that I don't want them to, and if you can't turn it up, then they can't turn it up. So I want you to go around the world and look up all these people. I'll give you as much information as I have, which wasn't much, and I'll give you money, whatever. I want you to make up a report and present it to me and see what you come up with. So the guy does it, okay? Goes around the world, meets these people. He finds out about Arkadin. He finds out he was in a gang of thieves before the war, because this all takes place after the war, much after the war. And he finds out he was one of a gang of thieves led by this woman. And the money in the briefcase was money he stole when he left her. Because apparently they were lovers and stuff like this. But the funny thing about it is, as this Von Stratton is going along, and his girlfriend Millie's helping him too, as they're going along, all these people he talks to end up dead. Dead. It's like he has a trail of bodies behind him. And it comes to find out that Mr. Arcad knows exactly who he is. And he's using von Stratton and this BS story. He may or may not have, government contracts. Using this BS story to kill people from his past so his daughter, who he protects, he was the biggest Papa Bear in the world. He protects her like no other. So she doesn't find out about his past. Because if she found out about his past, he is so afraid that she'll reject him and stuff. He can't stand it. So he'd go behind, and he's been going behind these. He was basically following him and killing these people, including his girlfriend Millie, who was trying to find out information for him. And guess who the last guy he's going to kill? Yeah, Van Stratton. So Van Stratton's got to figure out a way to get out of this. Now that to me would make a perfect plot for a D&D campaign. And I had this idea as a big grand thing where you had a powerful man who pulls this on a group of adventurers. Hiring them to do this, that, and the other thing. And I wanted to make it over so many, like an arc, over so many adventures. And what I wanted to do was give, like, the clues, like certain people to talk to. Each person give it to a different game master in that world. It says, okay, this world, this is what you know, this is what you, and, make the story. Here's the guy, he was this to the Arcadan character. Make an adventure around it. And the last one would be mine. I would finish it. And I thought that would be a bang-up adventure. I mean, you could go anywhere with that. And you have this thread, and then they find out that these people are being killed behind them or something like that. It could be a prominent noble or someone like that, heir to the throne, or a powerful mage or a high priest, or just even a very, very, very rich merchant. I thought that was a great idea. I wrote up an outline, didn't do anything with it. I guess I pass it on to you. So now, if you ever see me in a game and I'm trying to run a game, and I try to play, you know where it's coming from. That ain't the first time I screwed myself. That way, anyway. So, we had our little talk, and it's been fun. And we'll get together again. I don't have any more emails to read, but we can talk some more. If you'd like to give me some emails to read, oldmangrognard@gmail.com. Until then, bye-bye.